Hello, book lovers. Welcome to a special end-of-the-year episode of Kiwi and the Bird.
I'm Taylor the Bird, and for 2025, I am most excited for 2024 to be over. I'm ready to move on.
It's been a long year, but also really short.
Yes, like, I feel like I've aged so much.
Oh, yeah, just in this 1 year.
Yeah.
It's been like 3 years in 1 year.
And yet I still feel so dumb. Yeah. And so I don't get where that intersects.
It's a weird space because I feel old next to an 18-year-old.
Yes.
But I'm still like young and naive and like I don't know anything next to like a 30-year-old.
Yes.
And that's the same age difference. So,
just
putting that out there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brutal. I didn't think of the math.
Yeah. So, we're in a weird place in life. But I'm Keimi, the Kiwi, and for 2025, I'm most excited for the sun.
Oh, like winter over.
Yeah, I would like the sun not to set at 4:30.
Yes.
That would be really nice. Like,
yeah.
I know I look really pale because I am, but I'm human. I like seeing the sun out my window.
I like vitamin D.
Exactly. So I'm excited for that. That sounds great.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Yeah, daylight savings cannot come sooner.
No, please, just zoom to that and then have the rest of the year go as normal.
Yeah.
And in today's episode, we're taking a few minutes to chat about everything bookish in 2024, what we liked,
But we didn't.
and give our predictions for what we might see as book lovers come 2025.
But before we get to the episode, if you like Kiwi and the Bird and want to support us, our Patreon and Venmo is at Kiwi and the Bird. Thank you for helping us live our book nerd dream.
I was playing to the audience so that
Yes.
they could see our true desperation.
Like Oliver.
Oliver?
Yeah, like the British orphans.
Please, sir, I want some more.
Oh.
Not like my nephew, no.
Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, Ollie?
I mean, the kid is a little needy. I won't lie to you.
But he's not to this point yet.
No, he's done that to me. He goes, Keimi, can I have some?
Oh.
Or sometimes he won't even ask. He'll be like, I want some.
Give it to you.
And I go, ugh, I'm not your parent. I'm not going to discipline you.
I will give you everything you've ever wanted.
That's my job as an aunt.
But what we're going to start out with first for this episode are 3 bookish things that we liked from this year, and then 3 bookish things that we didn't. And maybe we want something new, something different, or something improved come the new year.
Yeah.
So what's your 3 likes from this year?
3 bookish things that I liked this year. I liked how we're starting to get more original covers.
Oh,
We're coming out of like certain trends for YA, for romance, for fiction. We're coming out of some of those kind of overdone covers, and like we're starting to get more original ones, and I'm excited to see where that goes.
I can name one genre that I feel like this really applies to.
The clip art romance.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
A thing. It's a thing. I'm glad that we are moving away from that though. Other bookish things. I like that more people have been reading this year.
Yes. That's a good one.
At the library, we actually had 6,000 more people sign up for new cards this year. So that was exciting.
That's amazing.
Yeah. My third thing that I liked in bookish things of this year, I do like we're moving away from the tall, dark 6'4" stand-in carbon copy male love interest.
He's now 6'3".
Blonde hair.
Blonde hair.
But yes, I think we like authors have finally started to be like, oh, like this is like other books have this, like I want mine to stand out. So I like seeing that we're stepping out of that as well.
Ooh, okay, those are really good. I don't even know how to follow up on that. Can I just say ditto? Like those were really good.
And but I feel like you do have things. Like what about I feel like we're getting more fun special edition book things.
Oh, that is a good one.
Good one, ready?
You go. Okay, I'm gonna act like this is my original idea, even though it was whispered to me covertly. Sprayed edges, man.
Oh my gosh, yes. They just look so cool.
They can get so intricate too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It makes them so I know we don't judge a book by its cover, blah, blah, blah. But you might judge it by its edges.
Now I do. Anytime I see bare edges, I'm like, oh, naked. Also, I'm like, boring.
Like, some are good. Some are not great, but some are amazing.
Some I'm like, wow.
There are legitimately some books where I've seen, like, the very intricate, very, very beautiful sprayed edges, or I'm like, I might buy this book just because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one that I came up with.
Yeah. That was Taylor's original idea. She just didn't know it. I was just her conduit.
We communicated psychically through our mouths. I think one of my favorite things from this year, too, I'm hoping to kind of see a shift in protagonist, which I felt like I saw a little bit this year.
Ooh.
Where instead of kind of like the badass kind of only being the badass for a strong heroine, I feel like we're kind of moving more into different versions of that, where like even if they're still a fighter or if they're, not a warrior or things like that, that we're getting more strong characters that way. So it's like we're diversifying that a little bit.
Ooh, yes, that's a good one.
So that we're not getting the same, I can punch out my feelings,
Yeah. We're moving out of the stereotypical male protagonist, female protagonists. Yes.
The angsty early 2020s.
Yes, exactly.
And Keimi also told me this one, so I can't take credit for it. But there have been a lot of fun special editions and really beautiful special editions coming out.
And then they're all sold out, and then my heart cries.
Not that we're referring to any particular one.
It's not like we're going to mention it further down this episode.
But, like, seriously, I mean, Lit Joy Crate has been doing amazingly. Fairy Loot, Owl Crate, like, everyone's been, like, I'm like, my wallet can't sustain this.
They're so expensive, but they're so pretty.
They're so pretty. Yeah.
I now understand, like, other people's obsessions, like, people who like baseball cards. It's like, I don't understand it, and you might not understand mine, but we really want it, and they're really expensive.
And, like, it's kind of in the same passion. But, yeah, it's like, I understand. I get it.
Yeah.
You want this special edition.
Oh, my gosh. I was like, yes, I already own that book, but that one's pretty.
That one also has annotated pages by the author.
And it has fan art.
That's a good point. That's a real selling point right there.
Yes, it is.
Now, what were 3 bookish themes that you didn't like from 2024?
I didn't love that romantasy did not evolve.
Oh, okay, sorry. You're like hitting each point. I'm like these are so good. Okay, sorry.
Thank you. I was kind of expecting romantasy to kind of evolve more into better writing, better world building, better pacing, and better plot. And while some things did change here and there wasn't like a general evolution, and I feel like that needs to happen or else people are going to get really sick of romantasy very quickly.
That's a good point, yeah.
Second thing I didn't like, YA is just not it anymore.
It's not hitting.
It's not hitting.
Oh.
I was a little disappointed. Whenever a book is like YA, it's almost like it wants to be a spicy romantasy, but it's not quite, it can't be because it's YA.
Yeah, it's like it wants to be in that demographic still, but then still kind of pitch upward.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so it's like this weird in-between state where nothing's getting done.
I feel that.
So I want like a rewind of YA to like go back to the Cruel Prince days, where it still has enough romance to, keep the demographic interested, but not so much that it has to be labeled adult. And still having like those plot lines done well.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, that, again, really good one.
Other bookish things I didn't like. I don't like that people are now doing first copies of new releases in paperback.
Wait, what? Wait, like...
Like, for example, a lot of contemporary romances, they'll do... the first release will be some hardcover, but mostly paperback. And I'm not a fan.
Wait, I'm literally so shocked because, like, in the history of time, this I feel like hasn't really been done before. At least not that I've noticed.
Yep, not a fan.
I'm not excited for that. To see if it sells well and then to make the investment for hardcover.
I think it's because paperbacks are cheaper to make, and they're also cheaper for customers, for consumers.
That's interesting, though.
I have really only noticed it in contemporary romances, but I'm really hoping that doesn't extend
into other genres. Ooh. That's crazy because, I mean, I know when we were in high school, it would come out in hardcover first, and then a year afterward, it would be paperback.
Yeah, I think that's changing.
What? Well, why not just do both?
Expensive.
But, like, take the amount that you're going to do of one and just split it.
I guess it depends on sales, too.
I'm like, publishing companies, do this.
They should, but it's fine. But what are yours? What are 3 bookish things that you didn't like this year?
I think the first one that comes to mind is kind of similar to your first romantasy one, where I love tropes, like good enemies to lover. Like, I'm interested, you know, I'm intrigued. Yeah. Like, I'll take a look at the synopsis. But I think the key with tropes is that they have to be refreshed. You can't just use them predictably.
Yes.
And I feel like tropes have really been used predictably lately. Like, one's particularly, like, who did this to you?
Oh, my God.
She's mine.
Yeah.
Like, certain ones like that where I like it when tropes still have the essence of the trope, but they're unexpected. And so I want the surprise back.
You want the trope to be original to that story.
Yes.
Yeah.
And not, like, it could literally be any part of any other story. And I feel like it's been a little bit of that lately. Yeah. Another thing that I maybe wasn't the biggest fan of. Ooh, let me think. Oh, okay. This one, it's not that I don't like it, but I get wary.
Okay.
So, and this plays a little bit into 2025, but then there have been a lot of, like, sequels to series being announced lately.
Oh, yeah.
And I get wary because sometimes I just like when a series is just a series. Like, let it end.
Yes.
You know, like, let it have, like, some series too have really good conclusions where I'm like, we don't need to keep going.
No.
We don't need to keep seeing. Like, it takes away the interest in the mystery, especially with characters and such. And so, like, for some, I'm excited. Like, I'm excited for The Cruel Prince. Have you heard that?
There's another one?
Yeah, so Holly Black, and this is just what I've heard. It could have evolved and changed.
Okay.
Holly Black is coming out with another book from Carden's perspective. I believe that's continuing off the Stolen Heir duology, but correct me if I'm wrong.
So, like, Midnight Sun, but continuing the story?
That's the greatest. I think literally, yes.
Okay. That's okay. I see where you're wary, though.
I'm wary.
Because I mean, I haven't read The Prisoner's Throne yet.
Literally, it was on I literally have it on my shelf right here, and I haven't read it this year.
I know, it came out in March.
And I loved The Stolen Heir. Like, there's no reason to not read it.
See, that's the thing. I like Holly Black.
Yes.
And so, with The Stolen Heir and The Prisoner's Throne, I was like, okay, I actually really like this story. I like this author. I trust her. Let's see where this goes.
Yes.
Having another sequel, though, that's what makes me worry. Because at that point, that's kind of where things kind of get muddled in terms of past characters, past story, things like that. So I see what you're saying.
Where it could kind of go or evolve. And I did like Holly Black's treatment with The Stolen Heir. Like, I thought it was a smart sequel. But I just get a little scared sometimes.
Yeah, like, the one that came out recently this year was Heir.
Oh,
which was The Ember and the Ashes. Sequel.
Did you ever read that?
No, because I'm scared. Precisely for that reason. There are so many times where I think this fear originates for both of us from the Heroes of Olympus series.
Oh my gosh, it does. That's where the book trauma came from. Drama.
That's absolutely originating because I think we both got really excited as children when The Lost Hero came out. We hadn't known each other then. And I think when we became friends, Mark of Athena was coming out-ish, right? Yeah. And we loved Son of Neptune. And then we read Mark of Athena, and it went downhill from there for us. And it was like, it was nice because it bonded. We bonded.
Trauma bond.
Exactly. But that's where it started because we were like, oh my gosh, what is Rick doing to this character? Oh my gosh, what is he doing to the plot? What is happening? So yes, I think that's where that fear originates.
Yeah, that's our origin story. And then for the third thing that I didn't like this year bookishly, that's a hard one. Like, what else is kind of like has done that?
Perhaps the prices of books going up?
I can't even talk about the prices, bro. I literally can't even talk about the prices, even though I talk about it all the time. Every time, like, I'm talking to, like, my mom and my sister, I'm like, when I was 18, a hardback at most costed, like, $15, and that was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Now?
It's like 22.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I'll complain about that.
Yeah.
Like, I get it, but do I?
Yeah. And then once the regular copies become more expensive and the special editions become that much more.
Yep.
And then this is why we all need rich husbands who might be morally corrupt.
That's literally like every protagonist we know. So
Yeah, there we go. I'm just living out my dream.
But now, moving on to our next topic that we wanted to chat about for 2024. What did you think was the best cover that came out in 2024?
I might have to do research on this if I'm being honest with you.
I will Goodreads.
5 minutes later.
Ooh, I did like the bride cover. I did like the black and white. I liked the illustration. I do follow the artist. And I liked the red
Really?
text.
I did not, but that could be because I have issues with Ellie Hazelwood.
It's personal. So far, my top contender is probably When Among Crows.
Probably. I did like the metallic sun.
Yes, the metallic sun. Also, I feel like it's original. Like, it fits fantasy, but still stands out on its own. Because sometimes I feel like, especially with fantasy, it can kind of feel like the same iteration.
Yeah.
So I do like that. That one felt
I
different.
do think we did like Swordcatcher, if I remember correctly.
Oh, we did like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one's a good cover that's in between adult and then kind of like the appeal of young adult covers.
Never a Hero. I did like that one.
That was a good one.
I mean, okay, is it the most standout? No. But I feel like it's original enough to the story. Plus, it just goes really well with the first one.
Yes, it does.
And, like, consistency throughout series is really important.
Yes.
So, I think that might be one of my top contenders.
Oh, I do remember another one that I really liked. Silver in the Bone.
Oh.
I really liked that cover. They actually did a redesign, but I really loved the original first one. I was like, it's so mystical, and it's like the Lady of the Lake, and there's a sword. Okay, I think I have my top 3. But do I have my top 1? I do have my top 1.
What's your top one?
I think my top 1 is Silver in the Bone.
Oh, wow.
For my favorite cover of 2024. I remember I saw that and I was like, wow, that's pretty.
Okay.
The original, again, like the original really captured me.
Yeah.
What about you? What was your top cover of 2024?
I'll say Never a Hero.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The story went in a weird place, but I liked looking at the cover.
And really, even though we don't judge books by covers,
We do.
We do, and we really admire them.
I'm shallow, please.
Now, speaking of best covers, we also wanted to touch on what was our favorite special edition cover of 2024.
Yeah.
Ooh, the Fairy Loot Divine Rivals. Was that this year? If it was, that one was really pretty.
Oh, that's pretty good. I think I did see that one.
Yeah, like the black and white with the gold text. I was like, that's good. I like it.
I mean, okay. I don't know if this is a this year thing, but I discovered it this year. It's the Six of Crows special edition versions from Owl Crate. They're so pretty. I think I showed it to you.
You did, yeah.
But someone showed it to me at work, and then I looked it up, and they're all sold out, and I cried. And then I showed it to Taylor, and like Taylor reached out to the people on social media, and they said, yeah, we're not going to do a reprint. And then souls died that day.
Yeah, ours.
Yeah.
We're soulless now.
I also showed it to some other book people that I work with, and their souls also died.
So many victims of this one.
But they're so pretty. I'm so sad about that. But I saw those when I was shown those covers for the first time. I was like shell shocked. I couldn't stop thinking about them.
The illustrations were so beautiful. And then the covers, like, I loved how they really captured the setting, but then also the vibe.
It's just the perfect cover, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also really like, I don't have my phone to check the Instagram name. I think it's Dreamer Whales Box. If I'm wrong, I'll find it and then I'll but that account makes such beautiful bookish content. Like they've redone book jackets for certain book series. They're so dreamy and beautiful, and they're just enchanting. Oh, there's also Enchanted Oddities too, an Instagram account. Beautiful stuff.
Ooh,
Yeah.
have to show me later.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think this is 2024, but I highly recommend looking at Chiltern Publishing for classics.
Oh, which Keimi did show me this year, and they're
did.
beautiful.
They are really pretty.
Yeah.
If only I could have a whole shelf of those.
Rich Husband?
Rich husband.
That's like our okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. That's our Faultima stars.
Now, speaking of favorites, though, of 2024, who was your favorite author?
That's a hard one. I think mostly because I read a lot of books I didn't like.
Ooh. Some years I like that. Like, some
Yeah.
years it's like, oh, like, there were some really good ones. And then sometimes it's like, oh, it's not quite there.
Not quite there. What about you?
Ooh. The hard thing is, I will say, I was slacking on reading this year. So slacking. So I feel like the pool I can choose from is a little small because did I read Holly Black this year? I didn't read the sequel to The Stolen Heir, even though I really want to.
Yep.
Okay, of the books that I did read, my favorite author, I'll probably say Carissa Broadbent.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was like, I felt like the setting was super enveloping. I liked that the protagonist was like a little bit of what I was talking about in seeing heroines kind of change. Like, she was still badass, but she was different. She's not like other girls.
Vulnerable.
She had
Physically.
weakness.
Not emotion. I mean, she was emotionally, but like mostly like physically. Like she was constantly in danger.
Literally never safe.
Yes.
But yeah, I liked Oriah and I liked her writing, and I think I'd be curious to see more from her.
I started reading the sequel, by the way. I'm like 30 pages in, so like I can't tell you like a whole bunch. But we'll see.
Oh.
We'll see. You know what? I think I got to give it to Emily Henry.
You've read, yeah.
I read quite a few of her books this year, and I know we didn't do it for any of the podcasts. But I do really enjoy the way she does romance. It's very grounded. Though I will say most of her male protagonists do fall under the curmudgeon stereotype.
The grump.
Most of them, not all of them, but most of them. But they're still different enough from each other that I can like differentiate them between the stories.
Yes.
And I also just really love in Emily Henry stories how both of the characters have arcs.
Both are prioritized.
Yeah, and it's contemporary, so it's hard to keep a pace going.
To keep interest.
Yes, and also I just love the way she writes romance. It's very intimate.
Tender.
Yes.
Even though I've never read her books.
No.
Keimi tells me about them.
Yeah. Tay's just not into contemporary romance.
I have to be like taken further away. I'm like, we're in Nebraska right now. Like, I gotta go further.
You're saying that just because of Eleanor Park.
Also, the one movies book by Lynn Painter was also in Nebraska.
Yeah. Better than the movies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nebraska, I guess, is the place to be.
Yes.
But I need to go more away.
But I also just think you're more of a fantasy person. I think it takes more of a world to bring you in.
Yeah. Sweep me in.
Which is interesting because I'm the one that likes world building, but I'm the one that reads contemporary romances.
Actually, that is kind of funny.
It just takes more for me in terms of fantasy. But yeah, I'll say Emily Henry.
That's a good one. Yeah. That's a good pick for 2024.
Thank you. Ooh, our next one. I'm curious to see what yours is for our next one. Our favorite book quote of 2024.
It's so hard because, again, I unfortunately didn't read a lot of books this year. I didn't do well as a bookworm. I actually kind of failed in my duties. I think all the books I read, besides some Wattpad ones, were for the podcast.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to think of those ones and like quotes I really loved from those. So,
I mean, you did also read the third one to... No, you didn't. Sorry. Never mind. Never mind.
I didn't read.
Mine is from Funny Story by Emily Henry. That just came out this year. And there was one that she had towards more the middle of the book where at this point in the story, like the emotional intimacy is at its peak. Mm-hmm. And the protagonist says, "Kissing is different now that I know him." And another one is during more of a spicy scene where she was like, I don't have the full thing, but it's feeling his pulse in so many different places. Right? And like, just those two lines, they're not graphic. They're not vulgar. They're not there for the shock value. It just conveys a lot of emotional intimacy.
Yeah.
And so I was just kind of like, oh, okay.
It's love without explicitly being love. Mm-hmm. Those are two really good quotes.
And I really liked Funny Story by Emily Henry. I highly recommend it for people.
It's a contemporary, right?
Yes, it is. Though, what's funny about Emily Henry is that her male protagonists, or her male love interests, I should say, are not typically the kind of fictional men that I would like in a story.
And yet you still end up doing?
I do end up liking them. I don't like gush over them. I do like them, but I just think that's really interesting. I'm like, is it because they're grounded in like real men?
Is it because there's a semblance of reality in this?
Is that why I'm not like gushing over these men?
Is it too realistic?
It very well could be. I could have issues.
Okay, as Keimi found hers, I've been trying to find mine. Mm-hmm. And so, I don't know. I mean, okay, I've been looking at When Among Crows and then Swordcatcher, because I actually forgot we reread Swordcatcher this year.
We did do that.
That was last February.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what to choose.
I don't know if I recall you saying that you really liked a certain passage or line this year.
It's because apparently I'm not very self-reflective.
I mean, to be fair, with these books that we read for the podcast, we kind of like rush through them. So there's not a lot of time for appreciation.
It's because we procrastinate for no reason.
It's who we are. It's how we function.
I'll say this quote because I feel like it's a really poignant quote, of course, for the story that it's from, and that it's like a really good character-defining quote. So this is from Swordcatcher. I'm going to say it in a bad English accent because I can.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I got a little shy on this one. I'm like, I don't know if I want to do my bad English accent.
I'm the praying.
Listen to me.
Now that sounds pretty good to me, if I'm being honest with you. Does that tell you how I think about British people? Perhaps.
Okay, here's the quote. I am the prince's shield. I am his unbreakable armor. I bleed that he might not bleed. I suffer that he might not suffer. I die that he might live forever. That's actually what I say to my dogs.
You know, I mean, we've already had this episode, so I mean, again, spoiler alert, but we've already had this episode, so like,
your fault.
Not on me. The fact that the main guys are not in a relationship based on this quote is still very surprising to me.
I suffer that he might never suffer. That's something I'd say to a lover.
Like, I've read the book and I understand that their bond is much more brotherly than it is romantic, right? And I respect it. I liked it. I really like their dynamic. But if you just hear this quote, you just kind of think, oh, no, gay lovers who will, like, lay down their lives for each other.
And that's a good point. Like, there is chemistry in this line.
There is. There's more chemistry between those two than there is between the main girl and the actual sword catcher. You know, Cassandra Clare tried and failed.
But I can't tell if that's the direction it's going.
I mean, but what was that whole scene where they kissed in the alley? Like, that was completely unnecessary.
But then also I'm like, why am I kind of feeling a romance with a toxic character?
No, literally, there's chemistry with every other character
But
other than those two. And they legit had, like, a kissing scene. It was set up to be supposed to be a romantic scene, and it just fell flat.
Or, like, was it platonic? I don't know. It felt like it was supposed to be romantic. Maybe it was platonic. I don't know.
Maybe. Either way, it kind of failed at what it was supposed to exude.
I was already too intrigued by the toxic relationship. He was so interesting. I don't approve toxicity, but, like, I was like, he's so complex.
We love complex characters.
But also, like, naive. Mm-hmm. Anyways,
yeah,
go read it, and maybe you'll know what I mean. Don't judge me yet. Okay.
I mean, quite honestly, I feel like we're pretty mild in terms of liking toxic characters.
True. I mean, we knew that Wolf Jacob was bad.
Yeah.
We knew Edward had something going.
He had issues. He had issues.
When we were 12, by the way.
Like, yes. By the way. I mean, as a 24-year-old adult, do I now think, yes, you might be stuck in the body of a 17-year-old, but you have the life experience of a 100-year-old, and is it kind of weird that you're still attracted to high school girls? Perhaps.
Also, like, you really overthink things. Like,
yeah.
You don't need to count how many bugs are in the meadow right now, bro.
Oh my gosh. I was like, okay, Edward, you know what you are? You're the pretentious guy in college who only reads classics to quote them to people.
Oh. That's
That's
accurate.
His vibe.
That's
accurate.
His
vibe. Also, the one who likes a girl but can't tell her straight because he's so emotionally unavailable. And so he just ends up being a jerk to her and then is surprised when she rejects him.
Huh. Strange how your actions produce certain results.
Weird.
Huh.
But then he actually gets her because he's like hot and rich and whatever.
I do kind of get the rich part. I do kind of.
The older you get, the more money is attractive.
Now, out of curiosity, the curiosity we both share because we chose this question.
Yeah.
What do you want to see bookishly in 2025? You can say a reprint of the special edition of
yes.
Six of Crows.
I mean, that goes without saying, though. Owl Crate, please.
Please, sir.
I beg you. I want to see more concisely written romantasies. Or actually fantasies in general. Because, not that I've read this, but Brandon Sanderson's most recent release this December was the 5th book in the Stormlight Archives series. And I have a coworker who really loves to tell me about it, and I love hearing about it. She told me the book is 1,300 pages. Okay? And the book is in the span of 10 days.
Bro, what happened in these 10 days?
By the way, the Stormlight Archives is set to be a 10-book series. So they're only halfway. I would love to see more concise fantasies across the board.
You know, I do feel that because I feel like it's not that I don't mind a longer word count, but I still feel like every line needs to matter, if that makes sense. I don't like when it's not concise.
Exactly. Like, all of these things do not need to be said. I have said this probably in every single episode ever that we've done this year since we've read Fourth Wing. Fourth Wing did not need to be 600 pages.
Yeah, like, I feel like most, like, if they were trimmed down, like, it doesn't even need to be trimmed down, like, by 100,000 words, but if it's just concise. I do remember having that note about, we didn't officially read it for the podcast, but from Blood and Ash, I was like, I feel like this could have just been, like, a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, actually, on the other hand, too, I would love to see romantic contemporaries with a longer page count.
Oh.
I would love to see it. Because I won't lie, they do a lot in that time.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh, I kind of wish that you spent more time on this. Right? So maybe just like, instead of 300, maybe like push it to 400.
Give us a little more build-up.
Yeah.
No, that's a good one. That's one of the things I really liked about The Cruel Prince was that it was shorter. When I got to the end, I was like, wait a second. But like, it was actually really fun to have that feeling because it was still super enveloping, but not overwhelming. And I was still really able to understand it because I feel like sometimes with longer page counts, I get more confused than I feel I would if it was conciser because there's so much. But yeah, that's a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What about yours? What do you want to see in 2025?
I would like to see, I want new blood.
In terms of?
Authors.
Oh, okay.
And then I would like for stories to feel a little bit more impactful.
Oh. No, I know what you're saying.
I feel like, growing up, there were so many series that have stuck with me even now. Like, even if I didn't even completely love them, I really remember them well. The worlds, the characters, the this and that.
The Fallen series.
I remember a lot about that series.
I didn't even like it.
I wasn't even the biggest fan.
But yeah, see, exactly.
Literally.
Exactly.
And I feel like nowadays when I read series or if I read a book, that like it kind of passes out of mind.
Yeah. They're a little forgettable.
Yeah, and so I think I want something like new, exciting, invigorating, and memorable. Like kind of iconic, low key.
Yeah. Like I want a new Hunger Games.
Yeah. Oh, I did see a book that came out that was compared to the Hunger Games. I was like, oh, now wait a second. Well, you don't just compare to the Hunger Games.
But see, I feel like it's not going to be the new Hunger Games because it's being compared to it.
Oh, that's a good point.
When the Hunger Games came out, it was its own thing.
Yeah, true. It was incomparable.
Yeah, I want to see a new modern classic.
Yes. Yeah.
That'd be great. Or you know what? You know what I would also love to see? I would love to see a romantic contemporary that has the same emotional impact that Eleanor and Park had for me.
Ooh, you've loved Eleanor and Park for a long time.
For years. And I have yet to read another romantic story that had that kind of emotional impact. I've even read more Rainbow Rowell and it didn't quite have that punch, right? Like, it still did. Like, Rainbow Rowell's very good at grounding her characters and she's very good at creating realistic and emotional characters and, like, having you feel those emotions along with them.
Yes.
But I still have yet to have one that's like so sweet and yet so turbulent in terms of what I'm feeling throughout the book.
Oh my gosh. Keimi, you need to write this.
I wish I could, but my brain doesn't work like that. My brain doesn't like having to put things from here onto like there.
My brain just doesn't like, period. It just doesn't like.
Your brain just hates.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I understand what you're saying, and I hope that happens for you.
I hope so, too, because, like, and this is, I feel like, kind of the hard thing. We had really good series growing up.
We did.
And so, like, my expectations, they're high. Actually, I feel like those book series really made me who I am today in terms of, like, my tastes, how I perceive things and things like that. So I do think I probably have higher expectations, so I would really love to kind of be surprised this year.
Yeah, I kind of want to have my expectations met.
Yeah. And then even if it's like exceeded,
that'd be exciting. That would be exciting. Okay, can I talk about this for a second?
Oh.
I enjoy like a general fiction book. I do. But only once in a while. A lot of times what's considered general fiction tends to be on the heavier side thematically and also tends to be a bit slower in pace and kind of deals with things that are not romantic, which is fine. But in terms for me, it's like what Tay said a little bit ago that has like stuck with me. I have commercial taste. I like to see the ridiculous romances and like the attractive male leads and like having those tropes and everything.
Yeah.
But I want to see them in stories where I'm not questioning everything.
Yes.
Where I'm not doubting this and trying to like pick apart things. I just want to be able to enjoy that story.
Yes.
Right? And like, yeah, no, it's not highbrow and it doesn't have to be, but I want them to do better.
Yeah, I want like, because yeah, like I'm not a huge, nonfiction reader or like a classics reader or anything like that. Like I really love the entertainment aspect of the commercial genre. I just want it elevated.
Yeah, because if I'm stopping and like trying to figure out what's happening in the story, then I'm not being entertained.
Yeah. Are you not entertained?
I am not entertained. So, I mean, I know I talk about romantasies and like YA and all of these things like they are highbrow sometimes. I'll admit to that. And I understand that they're not. It's just like I think I have a certain expectation that's currently not being met in terms of my level of satisfaction with the books.
Oh my gosh. You're my favorite quote of the year.
Thanks. I've had quite a few quotes this year.
You've literally been rocking it this year. Like 2024 was really good.
Oscar just came in and was just having a good time.
Oscar Wilde, that is.
Oh yeah, he possesses me from time to time. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you can ask about it if you want, but that's actually probably all we're gonna say.
Yeah, you're never gonna learn more about this.
Now, with 2025, what character type is going to be your crush? Because typically in the past for Keimi, it's soft boys.
Yes.
Gentle, tender, loving, thoughtful, very considerate. Like those really, like the quote you chose, like those very intimate, emotional quotes.
Yes.
So is that type going to still be your type, or are you going to are you hoping to see something different?
That will always be my type, but I think I am kind of evolving in terms of my tastes. This is going to surprise you as much as it does me.
I'm so excited.
I have noticed that I haven't minded bearded male characters as much.
Sorry, bearded really actually was so shocking. It's not even...
Okay.
Wait, this is because of Human Shrek.
It is not because I mean, like, it might have started, and it's not the reason. And that's significant. You might think Keimi is just a beard, but it's significant.
It's just a beard.
Because I've always had very strong opinions on facial hair.
It's true.
I have always had that. And, like, the idea of a guy with a beard has just been like, no. But now I think I'm opening myself up more to that idea.
Is this aging?
It might be. Did I kind of like finalize that thought just on Friday? Perhaps. And it came because I was talking to a coworker about Star Wars.
Wait. This is the most plot twisty thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Okay, keep going.
Okay, I have a coworker who likes Star Wars, but she likes a lot of like the new things that are coming out, and I know you're not gonna love that.
Let it die.
Okay. She very specifically she was talking to me about the Acolyte. And how she was really sad that like got canceled and all these things, because she really loved how it showed Jedi in terms of like not being good guys and more of like pieces of the keepers of peace and all of these things. And I was like, oh, that's really interesting. And the thing about this coworker is that I've asked her celebrity crush and like things like this for like a good like year and a half now, and I've never gotten an answer just because she's not that type of person. But then she started talking about Manny Jacinto, I think is the actor's name. Oh. Specifically in The Acolyte. And she showed me pictures and she got really excited about that. And I was like, wait, why do I like this guy more with his stupid little mustache than clean cut? And I was like, oh no, this is that moment.
Is he the guy who was shirtless in water?
Yes.
Okay, that's literally the only photo I've seen from this TV show.
I'm going to have to show you. Because he was also Jason in The Good Place. He played that character in The Good Place. And he's clean shaven there.
Oh, yes.
But in the show, he has like a stupid little mustache and he has like longer hair. And I would typically hate that look. But it looks really good. It makes him look better. And so I was like, oh my gosh, this is my character evolution. And also, I mean, on a lot of Emily Henry books, her characters have bearded or like have some kind of facial hair. And typically I'm like, oh, I don't want to kiss a guy with facial hair. But now I'm like, I'm open to the idea.
Let it be so.
So yeah, I think that's my character type. A bearded man.
Just beard.
Yeah.
You know, unexpected, and yet it was everything I could have hoped for.
You're welcome. Should I go into personality? Perhaps. But you know what?
Just beard.
I'm just gonna leave it at beard.
Oh man. I don't know how to follow up beard.
Well, I mean, your characters in the past, you liked the more stoic characters, the more broad-shouldered, I don't speak a lot, but I have a lot of authority, aura points kind of guy. Yeah. Has that changed? Do you think it will change?
I don't think it'll ever change. Because there's just kind of like a silent thoughtfulness behind those characters, and they think so much, and then they have those one-liners, and because they don't speak a lot, it means a lot when they say them. It's so good every time. When it's done well, like, is done well. But, I mean, I do also really love kind of the tender-hearted, playful characters who love with all of their souls, and yet they usually get crushed. Not talking about you, Jem, even though I am.
You'll never get over him.
No. And so I think in 2025, I kind of want some gems. Like, I want some, like, playful, clever, witty, considerate, thoughtful characters to come into the scene. If they have silver hair, great. Yeah, I think that's gonna be, I'm gonna look forward to that come 2025.
Can I make a prediction for you?
Yes.
I think that you're gonna really like the characters who are charmers and who like everyone loves. And he's like very flirty, very, what are the kids saying? Riz master?
What are the youth saying nowadays?
Like that guy who kind of like flirts with everybody, right? And like very charming, very attractive, but like deep down inside is like very broken.
Oh, that was a plot twist.
And like the female protagonist who's their love interest will like find that out and will love him more without his charming aspect. I feel like you're gonna love that character.
I mean, the way you described him, I'm down. I'm down.
I feel like there's gonna be one character like that you're just gonna hold on to.
There better be, okay? Because we need this to come true so that next year, the next episode, we can say it did.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah,
I'll look forward to that as well. Someone write that. And then finally, we're going to look into the crystal ball of the future for 2025. Keimi, what are your bookish predictions? Are there certain tropes you think that are going to be super popular in 2025? Certain storylines or retellings or maybe even book covers? What are your predictions? Actually, Keimi is low-key psychic, so whatever she says, like, mystical.
I actually have a couple. I think that sprayed edges are going to become the new norm.
Yes, please.
Because of that, I do think book prices are going to continue to go up.
Why must we be punished just because something's pretty?
I think in terms of the romantasy genre, after the third book in Fourth Wing, there's going to be a slight decline.
Oh.
And then more books in terms of like, I think that spicy books in a sci-fi setting are going to have a rise.
Oh my gosh. Ice Planet Barbarians?
Yes. But that's the thing, right? It's not going to be erotica. It's going to be
Sci-mans.
I don't know. That sounds terrible.
Or
someone else
Ryans?
Someone else needs to come up with the name. But I do think we're going to see a lot more romantasy type stories, but in a sci-fi setting. I don't know if that's going to do well, but I do think that trend is going to happen. I think dragons are no longer going to be the big thing. I feel like I always say that vampires are going to come back, but they kind of always do.
Well, they're literally undead.
Ooh. We had a lot of summer contemporary romances come out this year. I think we're going to get a different a different one this year. Does
Like
that
a
make
different
sense?
season?
Not necessarily a different season.
But like a new kind of category?
Yes.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Right, so like that was summer. I think the year before 2023 was a lot of like college school romances.
Oh, yeah, good point.
I think this year was summer romances. We're going to have a different one, but I can't quite tell what it's going to be.
Is it going to be Cabin in the Woods? Is it going to be Beach Summertime Playtime?
Who knows?
That's actually literally summer. I literally just...
It's going to be different, and I know, like, I have some inkling, but, like, I can't quite say, so probably something like that.
Ooh, I like those predictions. Those are good ones.
What about yours?
I've been thinking, similarly to sci-fi, I thought we might see an uptick in dystopian.
Ooh, yeah.
Just because the Hunger Games prequel, Sunrise on the Reaping's coming out.
Oh, yeah, the blonde dude.
Haymitch.
Thank you.
And of course, Hunger Games has a really big influence and pull. So I think we might see some more dystopians, which actually I do look forward to. But I think with anything that might try to like really like catch attention, it has to be super hooky. Like I think Fourth Wing did really well because it's super commercial and like very like, you know, Dragon College. Who's gonna say no to Dragon College?
College romance, I'm telling you.
Oh, it's a good. Oh, you're literally not wrong. And so, yeah, I think with anything that's going to kind of like break into the market, it's going to have to be like something super selly. Or like whether you're a really avid book reader, if you're kind of new to the space, like it's going to apply to you. I hope to see that dystopian space because I would be intrigued by that.
Ooh.
I mean,
Okay.
I think trope-wise that I think there's still going to be enemies to lovers.
There always will be.
But I think that we're going to kind of maybe see more like second chance romance or like old flames kind of thing. Where it's like, will the spark reignite? I don't know. I also do think we'll start to see more sequel series just because we've already had Hunger Games, Cruel Prince, and Shatter Me.
Oh, yeah. I mean, let's be honest, Cassandra Clare really started that trend.
Yeah.
She was doing it back in 2010s, so if anyone's to blame. She's still
Cassandra.
going, by the way, in the same universe.
Yeah, so I think we could see more sequels there. Of what series? I don't know. It could be Twilight. I've heard rumors about a possible Jacob and Receipt.
That's my favorite one. That's my favorite one. My favorite one used to be Resume. Now it's Receipt.
It could even be like maybe a throwback to one of the series growing up for us.
It could be. I mean, I do want to see more original things, but I understand that they're not doing super well.
It's hard to break into.
You know what trope I actually do want to see? I want to see more of getting married for convenience sake and then falling in love.
Yeah.
Because that's the only trope where the one bed makes sense.
Yes, otherwise it's like so much has to happen to make the one bed happen. It's like, oh, well, this part of the hotel burned down and the other beds are going to the elderly that were abandoned in the flood last year. And so you guys only have one bed.
See, I would love to see, in any situation, like contemporary fantasies, I don't care. I would just love to see the trope of, oh, we have to stay a place. They know that we're married, so they only made us one bed. And, like,
you can't go against it because of public perception. Yes.
And so then they get there and then the guy's like, you know what, I'll sleep on the floor. Kind of a thing. And then like maybe that happens one night, but then the next she like gets really sad and is emotionally vulnerable and then he hugs her and then, oh, what? We fell asleep together?
I woke up gasping from a nightmare and you're there to comfort me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see that. I really like that trope.
It is a good one.
It's a good trope.
Yeah.
So I want to see more of that.
Yeah. Go write it.
Ooh, is that the end of the episode?
That is the end of the episode and the end of the year.
Oh.
I'm not sad. Bye, 2024.
I don't know. It just seems so final.
Actually, it really kind of did.
Oh no.
Why did I feel like we're not going to be the same people we were right here?
What if we're not?
We don't change.
But sometimes we do.
We swear more now.
It's true. We'll talk. Thank you for joining us today on Kiwi and the Bird. Let us know in Spotify's comment section or on our social media what bookish trends you think we're going to be seeing in 2025.
Actually, I really do, because I'm curious. I kind of want to see where everyone is feeling like the currents are going. Speaking of social media, be sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and more at Kiwi and the Bird. Hence, Kiwi and the Bird podcast, if you will. And if you have any questions about the show, please feel free to email us at kiwiandthebirdpodcast@gmail.com. I'll try to get back.
It's the holidays. Don't expect much.
The struggle is real. Oh my goodness, excuse my voice. The struggle was real, bro. It was so real.
Oh no, please don't die. Feel free to check out our other episodes in the meantime.
And remember, like a library at Kiwi the Bird, happens.